Hi traders, welcome to this live currency strength indicator table video with me, John, on this Tuesday, the 11th of July. Now, just a heads up, I have actually recorded this once already, but the my microphone is playing up at the moment and ended up recording the whole thing without audio. So I'm going to go over it again. Obviously, this has been the first time for you, but for me, it's the second time. But we're going to be focusing on a lot of the currency pairs that we talked about yesterday, because I still feel like there's some opportunities on those currency pairs, particularly on pound Aussie. Now we can see Aussie tops our trend traders as the weakest currency. It currently rests as W3 on the day traders. So I'm going to be focusing on the Australian dollar a little bit in this video. I also like pound Aussie still, like I said, for that further upside. And if we go over to the pound Aussie on the hourly chart, I was in discussions with Charles this morning and we were talking about potential entry points on this because we missed our entry yesterday. So we were looking at entries in and around this area yesterday. Price didn't quite make it back there. Instead, the actual 50 moving average came up, it tapped that and continued to push to the upside. Now, the 50 isn't something that we just usually kind of use as a getting tool. It's just a little bit here as a guide as to what price is doing. And you know, we can see obviously price is trading above it at the moment, so that to us is a positive sign. And I like the idea of pound Aussie trading even further to the upside. But what I did also discuss was the potential break and retest of these prior highs here, and that's exactly what price has done at the moment. So we've broken through these highs. It looks like we're holding above the highs, so can we look for maybe an entry on a bit of a pullback? Now you can see I've already changed the entry criteria here for us. So I am looking for a move back down to the 97.25 handle. Stop losses on ATR still bring us in below these lows, which is good. Just in case price breaches the trend line support here, breaches the 50, we still have these lows here as potential support. So that's what I'm looking for here on pound Aussie. Now I still quite like the idea of trading all the way up to the 1 spot 97 handle where we kind of intersect with this trend line. So we still have a potential 1 to 3 or just below 1 to 3 risk reward ratio here for pound Aussie. So I still like this market. Like I said, it's still got a lot of positives to take it higher. Another currency pair that we featured yesterday was pound CAD. If we go take a look at pound CAD, if you are in this potential market at the moment, like we discussed yesterday, we discussed getting long in and around the 1 spot 7010. If you are long here at the moment, you are around about 108 pips to the good here, closing in on that 1-to-1. Now, what I discussed in the previous video that you wouldn't have seen was the fact that we do have some data coming up for CAD though. We have the Bank of Canada interest rate decision. So I was talking with Charles and we were talking about the fact that there could be a potential for CAD to kind of weaken today going into this potential decision tomorrow. So that's probably what we're seeing at the moment with these CAD pairs, CAD weakening in the short term. However, we do have some big data tomorrow. So it's up to you, obviously, if you want to hold that position through that data. I personally wouldn't hold it through this type of data because it can be very volatile, or if I did hold it, I want to be at least no risk on the table. So depending on how pound CAD performs today could be something that you look at. You know, maybe if price goes into the 1-to-1 or just above 1-to-1, you can look at some different options. Then the options could be to exit your position for profit. It could be to hold it and wait till close to the event. So maybe, you know, it will weaken further close to the event. Maybe you'll be at sort of 1.5 reward there. Again, you can exit or maybe even just bring this stop loss up to break even. You still would have the 50 as a little bit of a support point and these prior highs. So there could be something to work with there. I just personally wouldn't hold it through to the end or through that news event, to be honest, because, you know, the market's taking these interest rate decisions very interestingly at the moment. So we'll see what happens with that news event. However, I still feel like maybe it'd be good to bank the profits. That also depends on if you're in any other CAD exposure. So we were in CAD Swiss short. We banked the profits on CAD Swiss short now. We ended up taking an entry just in at this 66.95. Now the reason being was because we discussed an entry yesterday just off this yellow line here at the 67.10 area, and price came within around about 7 pips of our entry point, or even less, about 5 pips of our entry point, and just turned basically. And I was here at the time at my desk, and I said to myself, well, I want to be in this market, however price has just suddenly turned. So I basically entered on the break of that candlestick there with a similar sort of stop loss, and yeah, ended up banking profits just down here at the 66.38 as we came into this zone. So I banked around about 62 pips of profit, I think it was, in the end. But yeah, that was a nice trade to play out. We did discuss this one yesterday, so if you are or did manage to get into any kind of position here, depending if you use that limit order or not, then, you know, again, you've got that CAD exposure going into tomorrow, that risk event. It could be a little bit of a problem, and what you want to do heading into those type of events is bring that reduction of risk down at least. So, you know, if you're in this position still, maybe even reduce risk down above these swing highs here, for instance. So yeah, other than that though, pound Aussie is still my main focus on the charts currently. I still feel like this one has the momentum with the market at the moment. It has potential for a large return as well. So I am actively looking at entries on pound Aussie, and I'm going to go with the potential retest of these prior highs going into today's session. So yeah, other markets that you can focus on, obviously there are some other pairs of interest at the moment. You could look at Aussie Swiss, for instance. You could look at dollar yen, for instance, the dollar returning back to the charts. You could look at dollar Swiss, pound dollar. I mean, I was looking at cable this morning. I was looking at the potential for entries because I do feel like we could see price back at this 1.3 handle in here. Basically these lows that formed back in April 2022. So I was expecting maybe a move up to that, which does give us a potential of like 100 pip sort of return of where sort of current price is at the moment. However, to kind of make it a little bit worthwhile, I would want to be entering around about 1.2825 with the sort of 87 pip stop loss. That'd give us a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio up to that 1.3 handle. So it is something you can consider. Do I think there are better options out there? Yes, I think pound Aussie is a better option. So depending again on how your risk is spread out at the moment. At the moment, I'm flat on risk, so I'm happy to be able to look across the board here. But like I said, pound Aussie is the one for me at this current moment in time. So thanks for watching the video update. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you in the next one.